onto Patriot Place, you're going to have 9 groups, procedures and conclusions and graphs to kind of muddle through. Okay, you're going to have a whole bunch of information. So you got to organize that in a way that's understandable to you, and you have to look at it and make sure that you pay attention to the most important things. Okay? One thing that you need to pay attention to when you're looking at any kind of data, whether it's your parachute or scientists in general, they have to pay attention to is the data reliable? Okay, because if you get a whole bunch of data in an experiment and it's unreliable data, then there's no point in even having it, right? It's not useful. So what does the word reliability mean? Like if I say, you know what, that Jacqueline, she is such a reliable person. What does that mean? Jacob?
Like she's always right there when you need her, or like something like that.
Right there when you need her? You can trust her?
Trustworthy.
Count on her.
Trustworthy? What? Responsible? So if a reliable person is trustworthy and all there when you need it, what do you think reliable data is?
It's
Baker, I like how you raised your hand.
Data that's like correct all the time and stuff.
Yeah. Data you can trust, data that you know is accurate. So reliable data is data that you know is accurate and you can trust what it says. And that's important, especially when you have a scientist who is giving you data on a new drug, giving you and saying that this is safe to use because I have tested it. How do you know that that's reliable? And so there are questions that scientists ask themselves as they're looking at data to make sure that they're looking at data that they can trust. And here are some of those questions. And as you're looking at the conclusions and the procedures and the graphs from your stuff that you're going to be looking at and analyzing and going through, you need to have these questions at the forefront of your mind. And as you're reading them, okay, did this group really give me reliable data? Is this something that I can trust? If not, then you probably don't, you don't need to use it. Okay, so here are some things that you need to ask yourself when you're looking at stuff. 1, can the test be repeated with the same results? What does that mean? Because JDC goes, well, they're not always the same results. They're supposed to get different results. What am I talking about here?
Like being.
Ananda, go ahead.
Like if the results were like right and you did it at the same time that you did with the right results, then you should get the same.
Yeah, if you have the same parachute and you're testing it the same way and collecting data on that same parachute, that same variable, you ought to be able to do that over and over and over and get about the same time, shouldn't you? Because if you are keeping everything constant except for that one thing and you're doing it the same way every time, you should get the same results. So before you put your stuff on online, because most of you haven't done that, look at your data tables and see for trials 1 through 5 for each variable, were they close to the same? Okay, or were they kind of all over the place? If so, that's an indication that your results aren't reliable because there must have been something else affecting your data. All right, so can the test be repeated with the same results? Were the constants kept? Can somebody tell me what a constant is? 5 people? Everybody should go. I know what. Thank you. Thank you. Jessica, what's a constant?
It's something that you keep the same in an experiment.
Right. Is it important to have constants?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't keep constants, then your data isn't reliable. The only thing causing the change should be your independent variable. So that's why it's important to be precise in your measurements. Every single measurement exactly the same, everything done exactly the same, except for that one thing that you're testing. How could you test to make sure that constants were kept in your experiments? Well, you look at the procedures, right? That's why I had you upload the procedures with your conclusions and your data, because I wanted you to look and see, did this group really keep all their constants? Because if not, then their results are not reliable and not trustworthy. Okay, so you need to pay attention to that. All right, and lastly, and this really has to do with just reading the conclusion and understanding it. Is the conclusion based on facts or opinion? So during your conclusions, wrote your conclusions as a group, you gave your claim, you gave some evidence, you gave reasons why the evidence supports the claim. So I want you to make sure that the inferences that the groups made are based off of facts that they gave. Okay, are there any questions about reliability? I want the person on the left, sitting to the left, to tell the person on the right what the word reliability of data means. What does that mean?
It means like things that you